Hi, my name is Patrick Kuchio. I am the head of missions at Christ is the Answer Ministries. We invite you to follow us on our social media platforms at Sitam Ngong. Follow us on Facebook and like us on Twitter, on Instagram, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Sitam Ngong. Now, give me this mountain. These were the words uttered by Caleb when he went before Joshua at Gilgal, and it's recorded for us in the book of Joshua chapter 14, from verse 12 to verse 15. When Joshua was dividing the land, the people from Judah, led by Caleb, went to him. And Caleb spoke up and said, "Give me this mountain." And he reminded Joshua of the promise God had made to them 45 years prior to this occasion. And he reminds Joshua and tells Joshua, "I am still as strong as I was when God sent me out. Give me this mountain." You remember that the Anakites lived on this mountain called Hebron. So give me this mountain. Here is the thought that I would like to leave with you. Hebron was given to Caleb as a fulfillment of a covenant that God had made with Abraham in Genesis chapter 15. God appears to Abraham and tells Abraham that he will give the land that he was working on to his descendants, that they were going to be slaves in Egypt for 400 years, but God will bring them out and give them that land. So over 400 years have happened, and Caleb shows up already in the promised land, and he lays claim to God's promise. My encouragement to us as we go through 2020 is to lay claim of God's promises. Is there a specific promise or promise that God has been quickening in your heart and in your mind? Lay claim of that promise. You know why? Because God's promises are certain to be fulfilled. God is not a man to lie, nor the son of man to change his mind. That which he says, he acts. That which he promises, he fulfills. God's promises are certain and they will be fulfilled. But God's promises are also varied and numerous. There are numerous promises in God's word. Somebody has counted and found 5,647 promises that God has made to man in the Bible. Lay claim to one of those because they are varied and numerous. God has promises for your health. God has promises for your wealth. God has promises for your children, for your job. God has promises for the country. Lay claim to God's promise. But God's promises are also accessed by faith. Caleb accessed the promise of God by faith because it is what distinguished him from the rest of the spies who did not believe that God was able to deliver on his promise. But Caleb believed that God could deliver on his promise. And he shows up before Joshua and says, "Give me this mountain because God promised. I know that there are giants in the land, but God helping me, I will drive them out." And true to his word, he drove out the Anakites from the land. Lay claim to God's promise because God has a promise for you in the year 2020. God bless you richly. My name is Patrick Kuchio.